Hi guys, welcome to clip 4 of developing the offensive line. We're just going to recap on the first 3 clips. First clip we spoke about mindset, developing habits, things like that. The second clip obviously we spoke about the drills, the tools that we use, medicine balls, buckets, things like that. We obviously also spoke about the practice planner, working to 5-minute blocks. From that developing your set of drills, from that developing your coaching points, from that developing your cheat sheet, working the guys, grading them 1 to 10, and obviously just making sure and ensuring that you're developing good practice by not progressing to the next set of drills until you're absolutely confident that they've mastered the basics. That basically means that you're really kind of focusing on good fundamentals. Okay, when you do achieve that as a unit, obviously reduce the time of the drills that they've mastered whilst maintaining the intensity, because obviously you're focusing on conditioning as well, and then obviously you introduce your new drills on the top of that, so that's when you're working your progressions. So that's what we covered in the first couple of clips. The third clip, obviously we covered the how I utilise the QB within my pass protection system, and also as well obviously talking about the fact that we work to backside protection or blindside protection to encourage play side confidence by the quarterback. Because remember, the quarterback has that responsibility play side. We want our best trained guys, who's the offensive line, our best trained protectors working to the backside or the blind side. And what it does do, guys, it just gives us that extra ability to be able to allow everybody to release, and it puts us in a position where we can work to as a minimum out of an empty system. Okay, so effectively turns a 50 to a 60 protection pretty nicely without having to utilise an extra man. That's a little wrinkle that over the years I've put in there. I think going back to what I spoke about is find yourself a system, hang your hat on it, and make it your own. Okay, what I believe I've got is a system that's pretty robust. It allows me to work with the constraints that and the unique challenges that the UK brings, i.e. time constraints. I'll always say we've got 20 minutes to install things, but also the commitment constraints. All too often we find ourselves working with 3 or 4 guys, on the offensive line. But also what it does allow me to do, working these 2 systems that I'll talk about now, it allows me the ability to be able to adjust on game day, and I believe having that ability to be able to adjust on game day really puts you in a good position to beat the guy on the opposite sideline. Remember, there's always 2 battles going on. One is on the pitch, one is between the coaches on the sideline, and I believe that put us in a position as a coaching unit, not just myself, to beat the teams like the Warriors and the Blitz, because I believe we was the better prepared coaching unit. We brought more to the table. We was able to adjust to what they threw at us, and we was eventually able to at least hold our own and dominate and grind the teams down. And it was widely publicised that we were outnumbered, outsized, and some said outclassed. So yeah, we have a system there that works, and if any of you guys, you're new guys that can take anything away from what I'm about to put on the board, on the grease board, then fantastic. Use what you can, use what you want. Ask me any questions, not a problem at all. Always happy to pass it on. It's also good to see as well more UK coaches doing their little clips. I think it's really good. We're all here to try and develop the game. As long as the content is good and it makes a lot of sense, then brilliant. Keep sharing. So what we'll do, guys, is talk about the systems that I like to use, and the first one being the man zone, or the half slide, as some people call it. The second one being the bob, the big on big. I do also use a full slide, but that's an absolute last saloon adjustment. what them two systems allow me to do, the man zone and the bob, they allow me to deal with 98% of what I need to be dealing with. So I'm in a pretty good position. Again, this is systems that's been around for a long time. I've watched videos from the guys over in the States. I've talked to a lot of people over the years. I've worked with some good coaches. I've also played on some really great teams over the years. And I've taken out what I don't need, and I've put in what I do need. So I believe I've made this system my own, and hopefully you'll like it. So we'll talk about the man zone first, and it is what it says on the tin. You'll have one or a series of guys locking up, or man blocking, or manning up, whatever you want to call it, whatever your terminology is. You'll have another guy or set of guys blocking to gap or blocking to zone. I like to use the word zone because I like to try and stick to a true zone system. When I'm run blocking, i.e. the covered and uncovered system. And the reason why I do that is I can transfer the terminology very easily over to the pass protection, because what should happen is you should have your own set of rules when you guys are walking out pre-snap in terms of determining who's covered and who's uncovered. Simple as that. I will talk at the end about the post-snap. It's really, really, really important. And we'll go into that as we go through the clip. So we'll draw up the offense and the defense. What we'll do is we'll work to a nice balance set to start off with, because it's easier to understand, but also as well the 3-4 and the 43. A lot of defences are derived from that anyway. It's just the personnel and the slight changes determining the names and etc. etc. But yeah, they're the best two to explain it off. So hopefully you understand it, guys. So what we've got here is, as you can see, strong right. So there's a set of rules that I bring in now to determine how we recognise what we need to do and how we get ourselves to the place that we need to get to. Okay, and the first rule being is recognise the play strength. Okay, we can see here it's strong right, and for the purpose of this example, we're going to give it something simple, a simple name, which is vert right. Okay. So that's our play strength. As an offensive line, that's the bit we need to listen to. Okay, so you've got strong right, vert right. That's the bit we need to listen to. Great. We now understand, because our rules, our simple philosophy is backside protection to promote play side confidence. Okay, so backside protection, we've got to slide away from the play side, or the front side as I call it. We need to protect that blind side. So we now know the play strength is to the right. We've got to be sliding to the left. So we now need to identify. I need to know as a coach that these guys get it. I need to also have the guys in a position where they're all singing off the same hymn sheet. How do we do that? We identify the mic. Okay. So in this particular example, we count 2 up and 1 out. Okay. So that's the mic. Okay. I call this guy the sniffer, is the additional linebacker. You can call him what you want, okay? Doesn't really make any difference. It's just the additional guy, the extra guy. So we count 2 up and 1 out. Now it's important that we recognise the mic for a number of reasons. The most important reason is that it's where I want everybody's eyes snapping towards. And this is absolutely key. I don't want you focusing on a guy in front here. The reason that is, and we talked about post-snap a couple of minutes ago, we're not working to men, we're working to zones, we're working to gaps, okay? We want to be gap sound or gap savvy, okay? Literally recognising the mic is just telling my guys where I want their eyes to snap to. So for example, if it's to the left, I want my eyes snapping really hard towards the left. Remember, your eyes will always take your feet to where they want to go. Really, really, really important. Okay, that's the most important thing. That's one of the things that I work to. Okay, so we want their eyes snapping towards the left. Remember, Post-snap rules are very, very, very important. I've spoke to a lot of coaches doing these videos, and one thing that we're struggling with, and we've got to get out of, is coaching pre-snap and really focusing on, I want you to go there, I need you to go over there, da 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 da. Pre-snap is great, we have our pre-snap rules in zone, but it's the post-snap is really, really, really important. Remember, in zone, it's very, very simple. Okay, we're going to step. Whoever steps into our zone, we block. Whoever steps away from our zone, we leave for the next guy. And it's pretty much the same philosophy on our pass pro. Remember, we're going to be sliding towards an area, sliding towards a gap, sliding towards a zone. Whoever comes into that zone, okay, we're going to be blocking, or our gap. Okay, if somebody moves into the next guy's gap, he's going to be blocking him. So the most important thing is to slowly move yourself away from focusing on one man, unless it comes into your zone, okay, or gap, okay, because what that does do, guys, it really opens up another set of horrible things that may happen. So for example, if I'm technically blocking to a gap, a guy comes across my face, but I know the guy next to me is also sliding and he isn't covered, okay, he's the first man, for example, that starts a slide, he should be picking him up, but my eyes follow him. I've now left a rush lane, I'm open, okay, for somebody to come down and shoot the quarterback, okay, and get the quarterback. You've got to have your head on a swivel, your eyes have got to snap back, okay, you've got to be in a position where you can either help out or pick up a slow blitz or a stunt. You know, you've got to be in that position. So you can't achieve that if you're focusing on people. Okay, so little things that you can do, like your pass-off drills, all these things that you can do. Keep your head on a swivel. Recognition drills. I've got all these down on film. So yeah, if you need any of that, by all means. But it's pretty simple. You know, you can pull them down off the internet. I work with medicine balls and things like that. So, but yeah, simple pass-off drills. After the snap drills, you know, get your defensive linemen running around, put your guys under pressure. You know, all these little things you can do. But most importantly, start coaching post-snap. Really, really, really important. Okay, so we've recognised the mic, getting back onto it. We understand that we're sliding to the left. How do we get to a point where who starts a slide? Who's manning up? Okay. So what we got here, we understand that this guy is locked up. Okay. So therefore, the third rule is who starts the slide. First uncovered man starts the slide. Okay. So we can see here that the right guard is uncovered. He starts the slide. Everybody else will slide as well. Okay. So simple terms is right guard has got backside A, centre's got backside A, left guard's got backside B, left tackle has got backside C. Really, really, really simple stuff. 3 rules, that's all you need. Okay? So what that does, it puts me in a position to cover 2 scenarios. Okay? So the first scenario would be, first and foremost, it puts me in a position where I can block any combination of what this backside 4 defenders can throw at me. So for example, if the centre, let's get rid of these, if the end, okay, takes the outside, Willie Backer comes over the top, okay, let's just say that the nose tackle there takes that A gap, Sniffer comes into the backside A there. We're in a position where our 4 guys are gap savvy. Okay. Second scenario that we're in. Let's just get rid of that. We've got Sam, the Mike, the Sniffer, and what the second scenario, what it enables me to do as a coach is we can technically block anything that these backside 5, okay, bring towards us. If, for example, the Willie Backer drops hook to curl there, Tackle there goes over the top, Mike goes there. I can be in a position, doesn't matter what they throw at us, if any of these, any combination that these 4 out of the 5 bring towards me, towards my backside gaps, I can block. You're in a great position already where, because you're snapping the eyes back towards the mic, that means I'm going to be sliding towards that backside gap. I'm now in a position already where I'm in the right spot, okay, to deal with any kind of combination that potentially this backside 5 here can throw at me. And I say backside 5 is because we'll work into backside gaps. Okay, remember the play side rule is slightly different because the QB is going to be dealing with that. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But for the time being, we're focusing on the backside rules. Okay, so that's a great position to be in. Hopefully that's pretty easy to understand. Okay, so what we're going to do now, guys, is talk about blitzes, backside, okay? So again, we're just going to keep it simple. We're going to keep it to strong right, okay? So we've got the end, the tackle. Let's just put the corners there. How do we deal with certain things like an edge blitz, what I call an edge blitz? So for example, Willie Backer steps up. How do we deal with it? How do we communicate that? How do we get the QB on the same page? Really, really, really important. Your QB should already be scanning the field. Now remember what we spoke about in the third clip in terms of utilising the QB as an additional guy within the pass protection system means that the way you're going to be coaching or should be coaching should be very different, or should I say at least you'll bring in another tier to the way you coach. So what you'll be doing is pocket awareness, pocket evasion. So you'll basically be working your QB to be under pressure. You'll be sending people at him, play side. So what you'll do is you can do that a number of ways. You can be throwing beer mats, bean bags, put your slaloms, you know, your poles in the floor, get him thrown over the top, around, put it right in his eye line, put a number of slaloms down, because he's going to be reading linebackers, he's going to be reading people on that line of scrimmage, okay? So what you should have is a nice, confident quarterback that can read what's coming towards him. This is the key, play side, if you remember the previous clip. We want him to be in a position where he can see what's coming towards him, okay? So we've got this Willie Backer that stepped up now on the backside blitz. What I do is I have two calls, one for left, one for right. And I just call them alert calls. They're just to alert people. They don't do anything other than alert, okay? The rules don't change. First uncover, man starts to slide, etc., etc. So what I do, we're going to just give it animals. So for the left, we're going to call it lion. You can change this every season, okay? Left, it can be called lion. Ram, it can, right, it's called ram. Now, from my point of view, I don't care if the defensive line know what I'm doing. I don't care if you've got a smart ass linebacker that's figured it out that we're going to slide left or slide right. I'm challenging you anyway. I'm coaching my offensive linemen to challenge you anyway. Come and beat us. Yeah, that's where I am with coaching. I want to go out there, I want to send a bunch of guys out there that challenge you to beat them. We understand, because we've got good work ethic, that we want you to come and fight, okay? That's as simple as that, okay? We don't coach soft, we don't train soft. We want you to fight. And you know what? We're going to come, we're going to punch you in the nose and see how you're going to react to that. Again, tried and tested, won us a championship. Smaller guys. Tough guys, because they beat the bigger guys, the more physical guys. But hey, who was more physical at the end? We was. So go with the philosophy of being absolutely confident. Take no prisoners, okay? Go and test them, okay? We want to be in a position where we are confident in what we are doing. So verbalise it, shout it. So in this example here, we've got the Willie Backer that stepped up backside. Okay, What we do in this situation is we will get our tackle. Remember, we're rocking up. The defence are showing themselves. We're in a position now where the tackle will call out that call there, which is lion, lion, lion. Everybody else will reaffirm that. So we want these guys reaffirming that where they can. Okay. You may have a situation where they are already down, okay, in their 3-point stance because he may walk up late, okay, or show late. It shouldn't really make any difference because you don't want your guys with their eyes to the grass. We still should be in a position, chest proud, arch back, etc., etc., where our eyes should be up. Okay. What I try and coach my guys, if you believe or if you feel that Willie backer or the edge blitz, it could be the Sam, doesn't really make any difference. Both play side or backside is going to step up and show. Call it anyway. Call it. That's the most important thing. Never be afraid to make a decision. It's not going to change anything. Okay. Call it. Make that call. Be confident in what we do. Okay. So we've got the Willie backer steps up here, showing a potential blitz. Now, it doesn't actually change the fact that we've got strong right. That means we're going to be sliding towards the left, so we recognise the Mike, who's the sniffer here. We're going to be sliding to the backside gap or zone. All that alert call will do when we're looking at blindside or backside is it tells us as an offensive line, it alerts the QB as well, hey, we've got a backside guy here. But what it does do with the offensive line, it alerts the offensive line to, we got a backside guy and we need to haul ass. So what we need to do is what I call hard slide or replace. And what that means is we're blocking, we're going to need to really aggressively kick slide, really snap our eyes back and get to the edge of our gap. So we're looking to replace, okay? That's really important. Remember, if you haven't got that backside, you haven't got this backside blitz showing here, we know we can step out and work our way back inside, and I'll talk about that in a second, okay? But with this guy on the edge, we've really got to haul ass. So when we get this situation and we've called lion, we now know we're going to block. He's going to vertical set. So we're replacing right on the edge of that A there. Centre here is on the backside A there, right on the edge there. Okay, we've got the guard here, who's on the backside B. And we've got the tackle vertical setting. I like to vertical set, some people don't. Okay, there's pros and cons for everything, but hey, I like vertical setting because with the flip of a hip, we can parry our guy over the top of the quarterback. So I like vertical setting, okay? But what it does do, guys, is what I call a hard set or replace. When we get this Willie backer here that's blitzing, we're in a position where we can block everything, okay, that can potentially come towards us, okay? We just need to know that, hey, we've really got to haul ass. That's what that call does. That's what that call changes. Okay, so simple rules. So what we'll do is we'll look at the play side rules. Just draw up this defense again. Okay, so we're going to look at the play side rules now. We've gone over the backside rules along with an edge blitz. Okay, so what we'll look at is play side now. So it doesn't change the rules in terms of our offensive line. We know that we've got strong right. We know that we've got verts right. We know that we've got to recognise the mic. We know that we've got to snap our eyes back, and we're blocking the backside gap. Okay, we understand that if the Willie backer steps up, we've got a hard slide or replace. Okay, because we've got to get to the edge of our gap. Okay, we've got to really haul ass if that happens. It doesn't change anything. Okay, so what it does mean is that who's the QB? What's the QB responsible for? Remember, he is responsible for play side. So we've got to imagine that we've released, okay, the L and the R, okay, the running backs. Everybody's running their routes, and again, we're just going to call it verts right for the purpose of just keeping it simple. Okay, so now it's just my 5 guys and a QB. Okay, so let's give an example, okay, of what he has to do. What's going to happen here is the QB has the read play side, okay, the double read of Mike to Sam or Sam to Mike, doesn't really matter. The QB should be coming out of the huddle, or when he's received the play, if he's in no huddle, he should be scanning. He's looking at whether it's 1 high, 2 high, etc., etc. If safeties are down, he's doing all that, but he's also got to read what's happening there on play side. The simple rule is that if we're working an empty set, he has the double read play side. If you keep a running back in, the running back has the first double read. If 2 come, okay, if 2 come, then the QB has to release the ball. If 1 come, then the running back picks him up. It's really, really simple. Okay, but what we'll do is we'll just draw up a scenario here. Okay, so if, for example, we've got everybody sliding, okay, Willie back has stepped up, so we're going to be vertical setting there. Let's just say, for example, Mike blitzes over the top, doesn't show it, just comes on a slow blitz. What will happen here, because the QB has the double read here, he's going to throw hot off that, whether that be into space, release to the swings, whatever. It doesn't change the rules. If we're in a situation where Mike's there, Sam comes over the top and shows, it doesn't change the rules, okay? All that happens is the tackle will call ram, 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 and again, remember, it doesn't do anything other than alert the QB. It's an alert call. The QB now knows he's got somebody that's on the line of scrimmage, on the edge. It's an edge blitz, okay? We cannot pick him up. We do not want to pick him up, okay? QB has to make an adjustment if there's one built into your system, or he's just going to simply allow the guy to come and throw off that. If you're coaching right, if your QB is confident, he should be able to release that ball and, more importantly, be in a great position where you can get yards after the catch. And the reason why this is important is, going back to these 2 battles that are going on, if a DC sees that you're going to release that ball every time he blitzes, trust me, after 1 or 2 attempts on this, he's not going to do it again. Take the defense away from their game, dictate what you want to do, okay? It's as simple as that. I can't really explain it any simpler, okay? So here we go. We're still going to read that. We've still got a double read. What's going to happen here? He's locked up. Everybody's starting to slide. He's going to come. We just throw into space, throw to grass, throw hot, whatever your terminology is. Okay, and it's as simple as that. Now, let's just get another scenario, guys. What happens? Sorry, guys. What happens is, if the Mike backer steps up, what happens then? Do we change our rules? Do we adjust? Do we keep a running back in? Absolutely not. Okay, just stick to the same rules. Remember, the first uncovered man starts to slide. So what will happen in this scenario is it's strong right, verts right. He's going to be locked up. He's going to be locked up. He's going to be locked up, okay? First uncovered man starts to slide. Okay, so he's going to be blocking. There we go. There we go. So what that does do, it puts us in a position where any combination, what these 3 bring at these 2 here, backside, we can deal with. Okay, that's the most important thing. Okay, if there's no edge blitz, and this is the little wrinkle that I've built in. I'm going to talk a little bit more in detail about it in a minute, but I don't want to get the system, you guys understanding the system confused with the little wrinkles that I've built in. Okay, If there's no edge blitz, we know we can work our eyes back inside, okay? Really, really, really important. So, for example, if the end spikes into the B gap, sniffer comes over the top, we're in a great position to be able to block that or defend the gap. If the end just does his normal responsibility, Willie Backer comes over to that backside B, we're in a great position where we can block it. Any combination that these three bring at us, we can deal with. Okay, equally, if sniffer's dropping, I don't know, hook to curl for example, end's going to try and come into the backside B, okay, it doesn't change anything, okay, it really doesn't change anything. If the Willie Backer shows, we're just going to give a simple line call there, okay, we're going to vertical set, we're going to replace, we're in a great position now where we've still got everything blocked, okay, puts us in a great position to be able to deal with anything. Equally, it doesn't change anything play side. If we've got a situation where the Sam Backer and the Willie Backer have stepped up, Mike stepped up as well, doesn't change any rules. QB's got the double read, he knows he's going to throw hot because our tackle is called ram, ram, ram. Our backside tackle is called lion, lion, lion. QB knows what's going on. He's going to throw hot off this guy here when he blitzes to either a swing or whatever route you're running, okay? Doesn't really make any difference, doesn't change the rules. So it's really, really, really robust system, okay? Depending on what formation the defence are using, for example, the 44 stack does create its own issues. Sometimes if they're running some kind of over or under and bringing somebody down, you may be in a situation where the QB has to hold a running back. Okay, but that's an absolute last resort. It shouldn't happen very often. Okay, we went through pretty much the entire season not having to do that, unless we got to the more exotic teams, which there wasn't many to be fair. But what it does do, guys, it allows you to put yourself, to change from 50 to a 60, from a 60 to a 70, and if need be a 70 to an 80, just because you've utilised that quarterback as part of the pass protection system. Okay, really, really, really important stuff. So if there's any question, guys, on that, then by all means send me a message. But hopefully that's answered some of your questions. And if you need to talk to me, then message me. But I hope you've enjoyed the video.